Hello and welcome to round 1 of the MotoGP Career mode. Finally the day has come. We have Qatar as race 1 of the season. I'm ecstatic, you could say, for this race. It's been a tough pre-season on probably a less than competitive Aprilia. So let's find out how round 1 goes. So it is fair to say we have been quite a way off the pace, finishing all 3 practices last. It's going to be a difficult weekend. Now this will be my first lap in anger. I've made a small adjustment to the bike coming into this session to see can I get a bit more performance. I ran the same bike for the 3 practice sessions and got very little reward out of it. I was quite a way off. Didn't feel too bad on the bike, it's just the speed wasn't there. Come through sector 1 and we are bang on Brad Binder's provisional P1 to go into Q2, so far not so bad. Sector 1 by far is my strongest, so I'm not massively surprised. It's sector 2 and sector 2 onwards I struggle. The kind of small tight corners, the twisties. I haven't had the bike underneath me. I've had a lot of issues, but we'll see. We're coming up now to the second detection point, and we're actually under Brad Binder's time by a quarter of a tenth. So far the best 2 sectors I've done all weekend, and thankfully they're coming at the right time for me in Q1. I did fear I would qualify last by quite a bit. So we have 2 sectors to go now. I still don't reckon we'll make it out of the session, even though we're bang on schedule. Should have a third split any second, just as we say that, and I'm just slightly over. So we're actually on a crazy lap for me, so I'm having a real brilliant lap here. I come into the penultimate corner just slightly wide. I'm going to pick it up and square it off. The joys of having a almost 300 horsepower Aprilia underneath you. Now we come into the final corner. Picking the bike up, squaring off the last corner, up to the line now. Have we done enough to push Nakagami out? 52.5 is the top time. We do a 52.599. And we actually missed out by 0.001. We end up 13th, and we qualified next to Valentino, which is quite crazy for my debut. If it was an old school qualifying where everyone went out at the same time, I actually would have qualified 11th because I was faster than 2 people in Q2. But look at this, riding around the outside of the hero that is Valentino Rossi, the legend from my first Grand Prix. Now I don't think I'll do that in the race. I reckon I'll get gapped quite early and I'll probably fall backwards into the clutches of riders behind. But let's find out. 5 red lights. And we're away. We actually get a crazy good start. We get a great launch up past Binder, up into P10 for now. What can we do into turn 1? We're going to take a caution now. It is my debut. I don't want to be starting something bad in race 1. A long season ahead. Get a bit of a wobble into turn 2. Rossi takes the opportunity and goes up the inside. So does Binder. Oh, it's Miguel Oliveira actually. Does a Ducati touch? Does a Ducati that touches Jorge Martin, the young Spanish rookie in MotoGP, very, very fast. And he's unfortunately hit the deck with slight contact with myself. But already a bike with full tank of fuel feels slightly heavy. Struggling to hit a few apexes early on. I'm in P14, so I'm still fighting above where I should be, where practice said I would be. So I'm actually in the points somehow. Just following close as we can to Miguel Oliveira on the full factory KTM. The bike just feels a sluggish and change of direction there. But so far, not too bad in the opening lap. I didn't sink like a stone like expected. Now Enea Bastianini is right behind me. You see already riders in front making a bit of a gap as Bastianini dives up the inside of me into the fast rights. Great move from another rookie on a Ducati. So we're going to have to try and stick with him now, see what we can do coming onto the second lap. Bike doesn't feel too bad. My pace was consistent in practice, it was just a bit too slow. running in high 53s, low 53s, high 52s. As Lucona dives up the inside of into the last corner. I was coming back for late apex. We're lucky not to glide. We're getting great sweeping here from Bastianini. Can we get him into turn 1? We've managed to brake late. Are we going to get stopped? We've run wide. We've actually run off track. So a classic Qatar move into turn 1, getting a bit too much slipstream and running onto the AstroTurf. Now we're down in P16, so we have dropped out of the points momentarily, but will we be able to repass anyone? The corner already looking like he can pull away from me. I just don't have the confidence on corner entry and a few other bits and pieces I'm just lacking. That will come with time. You can just see they have pulled a small gap. We'll see, we'll dig deep and see what we can pull out. An 8-lap race on here, so quite a long race, so it's good now that we get into a rhythm, start hitting our markers and start knocking a few of these laps off without any mistakes. You get up on the curb there, that isn't the line through there. You don't want to be on the outside curb. Really affects the transition of the bike. Coming through this turn out here, you just spin the rear all the way around. I'm a bit conscious of burning up my medium rear tyre. I have a soft front medium rear, so just a small bit conscious that I don't want to burn the left side of my tyre through that very, very fast turn 11. You can see already 1 lap and I have dropped right off the back of Eco Lacone and Bastianini in that kind of big group. We got our first track limits warning of the season. No surprise there. We have a Repsol Honda Paul Espargaro right behind me. So we'll see if he has anything. There's a crash behind, and it is Paul, just as I mentioned him. Commentator's curse. Paul is on the deck. So we're catching up to Aprilia. We actually I didn't even attempt to go for that move. We actually sat him up massively. We were catching the fastest Aprilia on track. The lead Aprilia in 15th, which isn't great. This track is meant to suit our bike. Espargaro not getting the most out of it. We're actually in P15, so we're in the points with 5 laps gone. So we're doing slightly better. You can see on the top right side of the screen 53.6, 53.3 and a 52.7. So my pace slowly is picking up in the race, so I'm getting into a nice rhythm like I mentioned early in the laps. But yeah, Aleix Espargaro, he must went for a soft rear because he is going backwards. He's back in P17 now. Alex Marquez on the LCR Honda has passed him now. And look up next, Valentino Rossi is up ahead of us. Our childhood hero is just there in the GP race. It's sad to see really that he's down in 14th and he's not in 3rd place, but the man has earned enough of them victories to retire when he wants, and looks like he's going this year. But for now, we need to battle him on track, and he is just another rider in the heat of battle. But we are still not close enough. I think that our pace isn't really after stepping up that much. It's more that Aleix is after burning his tires, because Jorge Martin, who crashed, remember, in turn 3, slight contact with myself, and he's passed my full factory teammate into the last corner. Now we go, sitting the bike up, firing out onto the home straight. We're about a second down on Valentino. Get a great drive, a lot of power being used down the straight, using all the power of the bike. Seemed quite good on entry into turn 1. We seem to get a stop nicely. We did pull in a good few pull about 2 tenths on Valentino into turn 1. And let's see what we can do. He looks like he's maybe having some tyre issues, because we seem to be pulling up to the back of him, and he looks like he's dropped off the back of Eco Lacone. So unfortunately for Valentino, it looks like he's having some more of them rear tyre issues, and he is falling into my clutches. Now, I must be very careful passing him. He's going to make it difficult if I can even get near. Oh, snap from the rear wheel. Now there's a crash somewhere on track. Must be behind, because I can't see anyone in front down. Doesn't say who it is. Nonetheless, come into this tricky turn 7, 8, 9 little section. Flick the bike left and then flicking it right here. See again, just slightly wrong. Rossi, oh, I think that was an LTR hand I just got a glimpse of. Yes, it was. Alex Marquez tried through the middle of that sector to get the bike past, but he couldn't. I have to use a bit more rear tire than I wanted to through turn 11 here. But he's up the inside nonetheless. Good move from the Spaniard. He's coming through now. Oh, that's a green. That's a track limits warning. Oh, there's a crash down and there's bikes. Rossi's bike's in the way. Oh, over my head it went. There's Ducatis colliding with each other. A Honda up the inside. There's riders down everywhere. We are up to P13. What a crazy set of corners. And Morbidelli dive bombed me into the last corner for good measure. So by the look of it, I think a Ducati of, I don't know who it was. It might have been Zarco. I'm not actually sure who it was. I think, no, Zarco's in 11th. That couldn't have been Zarco. I don't know who it was. I think it was the Ducati who crashed. Someone collided with that Ducati, and then Rossi collided with that bike. Rossi's bike barrel rolled over my head. Then there was contact between two other riders. Bastianini was one of them. Luca Rini, I think, was the other. And we've gone from, I think we were 16, 15, 16. Actually 16 because Alex Marquez just passed us. And we're up now to 13, so we're in the points on our GP debut. Now, Frankie Morbidelli on the Petronas Yamaha is trying his best. He has managed to get past me this time now. Will we be able to hang on to him and use the power of the Aprilia? Danilo Petrucci is just behind. So, even if we do get passed by Petrucci, Rossi was on the ground only a moment ago. So that means we will still score points. Get a good run through that time. With Frankie in front of us, we can have a good marker of what lines to be taken on that Yamaha. Just pick it up now. We're just going to drift it all the way around here and just trying to stay with him. Hopefully he can pull me forward. His pace has been poor. I actually qualified him. Oh, the rear end letting go there, pushing me wide. As Danilo Petrucci comes up my inside, he goes for a move. He goes a bit. He goes in the offense. I cut to the inside, a bit of a switch back. And actually, just as I say that, Zarco's on the ground in the same position as whoever crashed the previous lap. So that means we're back up to P13. And Alex Rins is down, presumably in the last corner. Not sure exactly where. So a bit of a crash fest here in this opening round of the season. We're coming up to the line now. Petrucci hot on our tail. So we are going to, let's say, get a minimum of P14 today, which would be a great result. Considering we came into qualifying the slowest man on track. Now we have been fortunate, I understand that we did make very few overtakes, I think none. We haven't passed, Alessio Spargo, but I suppose he had, by the look of tyre issues and the same bike, so I suppose we have to beat if we're top Aprilia, we're doing a good job. Can't really expect to be winning races this early in a championship year on a second-hand Aprilia, and even at that, the Aprilia isn't the best bike, so we have to develop the bike, work at it. It's going to take time. There's another crash. It's Zarco again. Zarco with the second crash of the race. A crash fest here in Qatar. Danilo Petrucci has a look up me inside. Doesn't manage to get close enough. He gets alongside me, but I square off turn 6 and get a good exit. Like I said, we need to take the positives, so we're going to score a handful of points here for bringing it home. To finish first you must finish, and that is what we're applying this season. We've applied it really in all the championships. Even when we haven't had the pace, we've brought the bike home. We've never really overridden it and crashed, losing big points. Happened to Mugello in Moto 3, which was my biggest fundle, and I haven't done it since, and it's one of those things as I almost crash on the inside. So we're on to 4 track limits warnings now. We need, jeez, another big moment. Petrucci is right there. I have to be very careful now coming out of the last corner that he doesn't go for a dive bomb and try and square it off. And slightly defensive just to make sure that we keep P13. And Frankie Morbidelli's crashed in the last corner. We're going to end up P13, P12. Petrucci out onto the outside curve, gets a bit of a moment. Frankie Morbidelli crashing in the last corner. Our debut ends in a P12. What a fabulous result. Jack Miller wins it. Great result for the Aussie. Maverick second, and it's a Ducati 1-3 with Bagnaia coming home in third. We finished behind Alex Marquez and Marc Marquez, the two Marquez brothers just ahead of us. Again, slightly fortunate not to have done it on raw pace, but what can you do? Anyway, just as we're going to end off the episode, I'm going to do a small bit of updates to... I did an engine upgrade for my Moto3 team. And, I did a few little bits. I have a tyre consumption upgrade coming from my own Aprilia. And fuel consumption. So, just making the bike a little lighter on the tyres, lighter on the fuel. We can run less fuel, run softer compounds, have better performance in theory. But... happy out. We got a qualifying objective, got a race objective. We're 12th in the championship already. It's been a good start. Qatar has been good to me. Remember, I got a podium there in Moto3. I got a good result, top 5 in Moto2, top 6 maybe. And a top 12. I know now P12 and a lot of riders crashed, but it was still a big learning. I learned a lot in that race about that Aprilia and how it feels late in the race and what tyres we can use, and it's a bit heavy on the juice, I will say that much. I ran a lap over fuel and I kind of burnt it off quite easily to the point where I had to kind of manage fuel and kind of I suffered a bit with a lack of fuel. I could have used it a bit better at times, but I do, like I said, have that fuel upgrade coming. So I'm going to end it here. Episode 31, I think, at this rate. So we're flying through the episodes. So race 1 is done. The good thing about this season, this calendar, is we're back to Qatar next time around. So hopefully we can use all the laps, all the data, and we can maybe have a slightly better round. Could we get another top 12? Could we get a top 10? We'll see in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, like and subscribe, please, if you don't mind. And I shall catch you all in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.